Its jaws, they say, are worse than its bite. Yet this 500-pound cousin of the great white prowls within yards of beaches filled with unsuspecting swimmers. Able to reach 12 feet, on its record are scores of assaults on humans. May I introduce you to the sand tiger? Here on Delaware Bay, Fred Levitman does not have to voyage beyond sight of the shore to find himself in the territory of the sand tiger shark.
No, we haven't just come back from an offshore tuna trip. What we are doing is heading out of Lewis, Delaware, Captain Brian on the Little Angler.
Captain Brian Wozlovak, a lifetime of angling experience, specialist in tagging and releasing sharks.
Trying to catch monster sand tiger sharks. The hunt for monster sharks starts right now.
Let it fly, sunshine.
All right, Brian, you want to show me how you rig up these tuna heads for these sand tigers?
Alrighty, we're using a 20-aught circle hook K-wired to a piece of number 19 wire, about 2 feet long, with a 250-pound swivel. And then at the end of the wind on, we have a 16-ounce inline sinker, crimped so it doesn't move, to a 300-pound piece of mono, about 20 feet long, onto the end of a wind on. To rig the bait, the first thing you do is you take the eyes out. Then we'll take the hook, bring it out right there. All right, we're ready.
So the idea with the circle hooks in the name of conservation is to try to avoid gut hooking the shark, try to get him right in the corner of the mouth so we can give him an easy release. And I also noticed that you crush the barbs down and make it that much easier for us to potentially remove the hook out of the shark if we're able to.
Yeah, and the object is to do as least damage, least harm to the shark as possible.
So 90% of the time you get him right in the corner of the mouth as we're pulling that bait out of his gut and the line goes tight.
Right.
So we're essentially ready to get this bait in the water and start fishing.
Yes, sir.
All
absolutely. Right. Lowered in the water. We're going after a shark where that's one bite. And we're on the bottom. Now we'll adjust the drag. Adjust the drag so that pull it off and hook it up. And now it's just a matter of waiting.
So I've fished sharks all over the world, all different species, but I've never fished for sand tigers in the way that we are now on anchor with baits on the bottom. So what's the technique for when we do get a bite?
Let him run for a couple seconds, feed him a little bit of line so that he has it good and deep and doesn't get caught in the stomach. Real tight while it's in the rod holder. Once it gets tight, you got to bend, lift it up, and put it in your gimbal and start reeling.
It can be a long wait for a bite, but hopefully it's worth it. In Delaware Bay, monsters lurk, and Fred is going in pursuit of them. It's a voyage within sight of the shore where they'll anchor and send down baits to the bottom and wait for the sand tiger sharks to catch the scent.
All right, so this tuna head just got picked up. There he is. Oh, what Brian was telling me is that a lot of times these sharks don't even realize they're hooked for a couple of minutes. They'll do just sit there and lay on the bottom. And once he realizes there's a hook in his mouth, when he really turns the show on.
At some point in time, you're going to see him spit up a bunch of bubbles. You're going to see a bunch of massive air bubbles.
So he's gonna let go of that air that they come to the surface to gulp up?
Yes, to try to get back down to the surface. When that happens, you know your battle's halfway.
You got your leader right here.
And
did he spit that?
he spit it.
He spit it.
He spit it. You can see.
I could see all the teeth marks where he was gnawing on it.
You can get a good idea as to how big his mouth was, where you can see his teeth marks up here.
You can see the whole,
as well as the teeth marks down here.
bite radius going all around the head.
And the way the teeth are shaped, he came in from this way and was chewing on his way up. So he swallowed this whole thing in one gulp, just chewed his way up.
All right, well, let's get that bait back down there. And
yeah, I'm going to reposition the hook because it was kind of tore out a little bit, so we don't want them to stick the bait. When you feed them, they aren't hungry. So you want to get that one down, I'll work on getting the next one down.
All right.
The shark hunt continues. The people on shore, oblivious.
All right, there we go. Let's just pick this tuna. We'll see if we can't keep this one hooked up long enough for us to get both sides. I just let go of this one too. So you have a feeling there's probably a smaller shark down there that's
eating that big head.
can't quite get this whole big tuna head down in his mouth. You can see the bite marks on that one as well. So more than likely, since we just pulled that shark's lunch right out of his mouth, he's probably lingering not too far from here. And I bet you we'll get him hooked up in just a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That's like a smorgasbord to him.
Well, that was a pretty substantial meal we just pulled out of his mouth.
Yeah, very, very substantial.
What are one of the biggest ones that you caught in this area?
Probably a little over 11 feet. I'm going to say close to 400 pounds. The average shark is 8 to 9.5 feet.
And on the higher end of the spectrum, they're 10, 11, 12 foot.
Yeah. The higher end of the spectrum is anything over 9.5.
All right.
Anything
Well,
over 9.5 is good.
can't wait for this bite.
11s are exceptional.
Well, I hope I get to see one of those today.
You wonder if swimmers might be curious what a shark fishing boat is doing there. What is it they say about hours of boredom, punctuated by moments of terror? The captain and crew of the Little Angler know it's only a matter of time.
We're just gonna hope that this one has got that hook set firmly in his jaw, because we've been having an ugly series of bad hookups this morning. I'd like to change that ratio right now.
There we go. I got him. Got a nice there. He's ours.